another Friday, yet another beach. And I've never fished this before. I have to say, with the exception of the bit of a slight weed problem we've got at the minute, I'm quite impressed. It's a lovely beach, and this is the flattest I've seen the sea since I've got back into sea fishing. We've had a bit of trouble with weed, as you can see. I think there's been quite a lot of, I guess it's that time of the year, isn't it? I guess the weed dies off and it all has to go somewhere, but it's a pain in the arse. And I just glanced up and saw a seal. Oh, here he is, look, there he is, look. Let me take you and show you, my boy. Come to see us. Not something I'm too thrilled about, but like John just said, at least it means there's probably something out there for him to eat. I just don't really want him swimming through my lines, because I think I did actually catch a seal once in the harbour, and that wasn't a lot of fun. Hello mate, give us a wave. You're on candid camera. Right, now you've done that, sod off. Go get your dinner somewhere else. Go on, jog on. They are beautiful animals, I know, but unfortunately for anglers they're a nuisance. They're not quite as bad as otters in the river, but they are a nuisance without a doubt.
So rigs I'm using today, really simple. I've got a pulley pennel with a couple of black lug with that, so I want to pumped out a bit, but I've had to bring it in closer to avoid the weed. Well, I was hoping for the chance of something a bit bigger. I've got just a 2-hook flapper at the moment, baited with herring, and I'm just going to put some smaller hooks on there. These are probably size 2, with some little bits of worm, because you know, I do fancy hooking into a flatty or something. So well, I've had a couple of bites that could have been flatties. They weren't the normal desperate little bites from whitey, but didn't hook anything. But I'm going to put this one out with a couple of bits of frozen black, a little bit of bling, a few silver beads on there. Just see if we can't get a flatty or something. I'd rather catch flatfish than pin whiting, so it's going to be worth a go, isn't it? Well, this could be the order of the day, because I think this is Kevin's third fish. And a big, big stamp of whiting coming up now. It could be that they disappeared off now, but we'll hope. We live in eternal hope, don't we, as anglers?
I think they're thinning out, aren't they? Definitely.
I think so, which is good and bad. It's only good if it's going to be followed by cod.
Yeah.
And for those of you that are slightly taken aback by the colours appearing on your screen, Kevin's going to go through his tackle in a bit. Well, we are definitely going for citrus fruits today, with the theme being oranges and lemons. And just look at that hat. He's got no fashion sense. This in, didn't have a little pluck on that earlier. But my money would be on a chunk of weed. Yeah, it's been out there a little while, this one, so we're going to pick up weed. Nice to see that the one that Kevin just pulled in was almost weed free. But it could be a clonking great fish on here.
Is this the face of a man with a clonking great fish on?
No. Here we go. Weedy leader, chunk. You're going to have to wait for the reveal here, Kev. No. The reveal, Kev, the reveal.
I was going to talk you through my gear, weren't I? As I said, only just got back into all this really, so I had to kind of re-equip myself. John takes the mickey out of my dress sense. There's nothing wrong with my dress sense, is there? I can't see anything wrong with it. So I thought I'll go with the rods to match. I've got a pair of these orange ones, which are Tronics Pro Viper blanks that have been custom built by Adam Todd at Avenue Anglian, and he's made a bloody good job of them. They're nice rods. And then I was in there the other week and I saw this little yellow thing and I thought, ooh, black rock. That's supposed to be all right. And I could do with a third rod. And to be honest, I used it last week for the first time, and I caught every single fish of the day on it. I had about 8 or 10 dabs on this rod. Anyway, I digress. Tronics Pro fixed bow reels. Nothing special about them, to be honest, just the right size to carry the capacity of line you need. Hello, I've got a bite. I never. I've had 2 or 3 little whiting this morning, but that's the only action we're seeing really. But the weed does seem to be dying off. Yeah, and I've filled them with braid. Never used braid for sea fishing before. Thought I'd give it a try. Yeah, and it's a revelation for bite detection. Used it for years on the rivers, for lure fishing. And for like fishing live baits and stuff like that. It's bloody marvellous stuff. So yeah, I highly recommend that. But I do use a leader with it. I use a tapered leader that tapers from £15 up to £60, and it does give you that little weak link, because I don't really want to be trying to pull for a break on £60 braid, because it's going to be hard work, to be honest. And it seems to work fine. But yeah, kitted myself out with a nice new Ian Gold's tripod. Bought a few other bits and pieces, and it's relatively inexpensive really. You haven't got to go mad with it. But my old gear was just it pales when you compare it with this. My old Daiwa Moonrakers, they were a great rod in their day, but there was not really any alternatives unless you spent a fortune on like Century or Ziplex or. And then, to be honest, they weren't always the best fishing rods. I remember donkeys years ago, I traded all my sea fishing tackle in at Lowestoft Angling Centre for this one Ziplex Quattro Sport. And as a casting tool, it was amazing, but as a fishing rod, it was dreadful. It was just like a poker. But yeah, these for a couple £100, you can get a really nice rod now. Yeah, I mean the terminal tackle and everything like that's not really changed really. I mean you just fish smaller hooks for smaller fish, bigger hooks for bigger fish. There's things like the pulley rig that seem to have come in, and that's a great idea, but it's really just an extension of the old pennel rigs we used to use. So yeah, and bait wise. I'm just, at the minute, there's not really much chance of cod. I'm fishing one rod with squid. I've got some horrible little, I think they're Indian mackerel that I bought from an Asian supermarket in Norwich a couple of years ago for pike bait. So I'm just really using them up. And some squid. What we got? What else have we got in here? I can't remember what else I put in. We've got mackerel and I put a wrap of frozen black lugworm in, just in case there was any chance of the elusive unicorn. But I'm lucky really, because I work next to a fantastic fishmongers. World of Fish up on South Lowestoft Industrial Estate. They pretty much stock anything you could need fish-wise for food, and they do a fairly good selection of fish baits as well. So I went in there yesterday and bought a big bag of heron roes, frozen soft heron roes, which I'm really looking forward to having on toast at the weekend. And looking at the expression on my wife's face when she makes me go outside and cook them. I love them. Not everybody's cup of tea, but I think they're fantastic things. Anyway, Mr. Wilson, how's it going over there? It's going, yeah.
So we just chucked out the 2-hook flapper with both baited good black lug on the right hand rod there, so you'll see there's something there, but is it going to be me flatfish? That's the big question, and I hope to answer, hope to provide an answer to that shortly. But it's yeah, it's pretty slow. We found out we fished Patefield last week, and you wouldn't sort of think that fishing Patefield in the winter, when the white are around, would be as quiet as it was. It was pretty grim. We actually had more dabs last week than we had whiting, although they were all small. Didn't do a video because there wasn't enough content, to be quite honest. It was fits and starts. Probably between us, 10 small dabs and a few whiting, but it was definitely quiet. So I say you wouldn't believe that in winter time on Patefield Beach, but there it is. It's definitely tailing off from where it was. I don't know if these big winds, big storms we've had have sort of split the shoals up, moved offshore, don't know. We will see. We're going to keep trying, because at some point we're going to hit the jackpot. Doesn't come around often, but the more sessions you put in, the more time, the more effort, you know, at some point or other, it pays off. And that's fishing. There's something you don't see too often. Swans on the sea. Just saying to Kev, everything's messed up. We get seals in the river, the swans in the sea these days. Don't know what they're doing there, but I don't think I've ever seen that before. Sure it happens, but yeah. You never know, do you?
Slightly cleaner, healthier,
Cleaner is a new word.
Specimen than the last one.
Yeah, a little dab there. You can turn them around a lot of ways. You'll see his transparency. There you go, Kev. You got enough postage stamps today to get your Christmas cards done. Right. We'll try again. Now, if this bend in the rod was down to fish, I'd be quite happy. Unfortunately, in the real world,
ta-da!
Yeah. This is looking grim. Whose idea was it to come to the North Beach?
That's slightly chunky.
Slightly bigger dab, that, isn't it?
Yeah, he's actually got a bit of meat on him. Look.
Yeah, look. He's got some girth there, Kev.
Bit of girth.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah,
Nice positive bite as well, that was, wasn't it? Yeah.
That's these worm. I've only recently come to the worm bait.
Yeah. It was easier for them to get down, perhaps.
I don't know whether you get more bites with the worm baits, but you definitely get a better hook-up ratio, I think.
Nice one.
Yeah.
And what was that on? Was that on the... this is on the lemon drop, which when we fished Patefield last week, this is Kev's first time we're using the new rod, and all his fish came to that same rod. Unbelievably. How many dabs did you have? 8?
8, 10.
Yeah.
Good,
Right. Believe it or not, he's fishing the same rigs next to each other, and they both came to the Black Rock Renaissance ZT 4200. That's the secret, my friends. The yellow rod. Look at that. I hope I might have to tone this down a bit, Kev. I think I might have found a culprit for those little bites. Look at that, for a horrible looking little flounder. Really, yeah. But again, I think that's pigmentation there. It's not, I don't think there's any disease. I'm saying it's a flounder. You know, I think it might actually be a dab. Yeah, it's a dab. That is a scabby dab, for sure. That is one darkest dab I think I've ever seen. Never mind, little flatty. Get him back. Go for a bigger one. I'm just going to get this baited up, ready for when I bring the pulley panel in. So this is frozen black lug. It's not the best bait to use, but needs must. Still not a bad bait to use, I suppose, this time of year. It's quite durable. Once you've wrapped it in elastic, it's just fiddly. It's a bit gooey. But many ways of doing this, I suppose, but this is as good as any. Get it on there, spread it around a bit, and what would we do without bait elastic? It's been a saviour, really. You can put anything on your hook these days, just using a good old bait elastic. So I'll just put a few turns up and down the bait, just sort of gives it a bit of form. And then it can go straight on the hook. Simple, quick, easy, messy. Oh dear. We won't put that one on. Moments time for the old people. This week is Kev's time.
If we're all sitting comfortably, I have a ripping yarn for you. It's been a good week for gravy dinners. So there's been quite a high sprout and cabbage content to my diet this week, if I'm honest. And it all culminated on Wednesday with Christmas dinner at Posh Pigs. All the trimmings, stuffing, lots of sprouts, cabbage, lovely, absolutely wonderful. Pretty uneventful sort of afternoon. I'm walking home. And it's a couple of miles walk, I might have said this before, it's a couple of mile walk home from there. And at the top of the estate, there's an alleyway. And this alleyway is clad on both sides with 6-foot wooden fences.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the acoustics are quite good. So I do, as is my want, I do try and, anyway, bottom line, I'm walking through, and as I'm coming towards the end of this alleyway, I'm quacking and popping a little bit, giggling like a child, as you do. And I heard this voice from the other side of this fence saying, "Ooh, I hope that's not going to smell." And there was obviously a little old lady who lives in this end bungalow, putting her bin out or something. But I went, "No, I don't think so," I said, "but this way." And I drew off its enormous thunder, which rattled the fences. The sound of this little lot of water going off, it was unbelievable. And I was virtually crying. And I thought, oh, and as I turned around, I could just hear her giggling from the other side of this fence. And I daren't look back, I just went. But oh, what a laugh. Thank God there was nobody else about, but the sound of this thing was, oh my word. Oh, hello.
Well, would you look at this then? The yellow peril does it again.
Look at that bad boy.
Whiting. And yeah, I think it's a coley, isn't it?
I think it's a coley, isn't it?
Yeah. Look at that. Get him up there. I saw that come up with a forked tail.
I thought it was an eel, but all I could see was the black bag. That's a decent fish, isn't it?
Yeah, hold him up, Kev. What a lovely pair you've got there, sir.
Well, very much.
One's bigger than the other.
One's bigger than the
Yeah.
other, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's a that's a bit of a.
That's a turn up for the book, isn't it?
Well, blow me down with a feather. Well done, mate.
That's not what you'd expect to catch off Yarmouth Beach, is it? Really?
Well, I don't think so. But,
It's a beautiful fish, though. Look at the colours on it.
yeah. We did used to get the odd one, didn't we, when we were kids?
Yeah.
Smallie
I've
ones.
never had one as big as
Remember, I think you had one off Cove Hythe once upon a
that.
time.
Yeah, but never. That's definitely the biggest one I've ever caught.
Yeah.
What a beautiful fish, though. I'm going to put that back, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it'll be a waste otherwise, because they're in,
Yeah.
it's a lovely looking fish and there is enough meat on it to eat, but I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'm pleased with that, and that was only lip books.
Yeah, well done, mate.
Beautifully, as usual.
Nice. Oh, what we got? Oh. That's what we got, a double shot. That's not a bad little dab, and whatever that is on the bottom, we'll have a look at him in a minute. Yeah, tide's just turned now, so whether that's going to bring them on, but I'll be happy with bringing these in. All right, they're only small, but it's a result, isn't it, for your effort? Yeah. This is Kev's idea of conserving energy, so he reels in both rods in one go as a double shot.
Double shot on one.
I think that's a double shot I threw back earlier,
Could
Kev.
well be. And I think I've still got a...
Come back up. And there be another one. So it's definitely a day for flatties today, isn't it? Definitely a day for flats. We'll get them little buggers back. Nicely hooked, so... Yeah, but once again, as we had at Pakefield last week, the flatfish are way outnumbering the whiting, which, not a bad thing, is it? Can't complain.
No, it's not a bad thing, is it?
No, not at all.
Right, we have a brief moment of excitement.
I'm flat out today, Kev.
You are. Yes. After a long stagnant period with no bites, the weed seems to have returned, but in amongst it, John has managed to winkle out a flatfish. Is that dab or a flounder? Little dab? Oh yeah.
What's Mr. W Senior got there? He's senior by 10 days, by the way. Yeah, he's killing it today.
Beautiful.
Nice clean little dab, that one, isn't it? Yeah.
The old yellow peril strikes again.
Doesn't it? Renaissance. ZT.
ZT before, but
Yeah.
I certainly, honestly, I've only used this twice and I've caught so many fish on it now. It's great, isn't it?
Beginner's luck.
Oh, of course, yeah. Definitely.
Well, yeah, I'd switch the camera on just to say we're now in the sort of middle part of the ebb tide, and it certainly has slowed down. First part of it, we had quite a few fish, lots of bites, and Kevin had the coley, and then suddenly it dries up a bit. If you punch it out any further than about 30 yards, that weed is still sat there. So we're kind of restricted where we're fishing at the minute, how far out. So I've taken off my pulley pennel now and just put on another small rig. Yeah, Kev said he can't cast further than 30, so he's restricted anyway. I don't believe that. But yeah, so I've gone just 2 scratching rigs now, just a little overhead thump, 30 yards. There is a little bank out there, but at about that distance. So it kind of makes sense that it'll be trapping food. So yeah, it's definitely worth fishing. Yeah, this is pretty much order now of every cast. But obviously Kev has to finish off with a fish. Right, yeah, there's a weed, and amongst that weed, that's a pout. So another species for the day. Greedy little pout.
Look at the size of them baits though. I mean,
yeah.
I just piled all the old worm and squid I had left on there. They are greedy little size, aren't they?
That's probably bigger than the whiting that we've had today.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
So,
I think it is.
But you know, as usual, it's been a blast.
Oh,
it's nice to get out here. But yeah, just beaten by the weed. But hey, there's fishing. We're out here wetting a hook and we love it. Well, that's, yeah, little rockling there, and in my experience, when the old rockling are around, there ain't much else around. I have won a match before with a bucket full of these, but there was nothing else being caught and saw. So we'll put him back and keep trying, but yeah, that's not a good sign normally. Another species though, isn't it? Another day, another trip, and we're done. It's been alright actually. We had a quiet period in the middle bit of the tide as expected, but we've had a bucket full of flatfish today. All the whiting we've had have been 6-inch whiting. What we had at the start of the show was Kevin's coley Kev on the yellow peril. But we're going to call it a day because there's just so much weed out there now. You cast out and you hold it for just a couple of minutes. So yeah, until next time, thanks for watching. We will be very much hoping to do a Christmas special next week. So and get that over the Christmas period. So yeah, bye for now.